Joe Scarborough apparently has a sit down with second gentleman, quote unquote, Doug Emhoff. And it's going to air on Monday. All we've seen so far is the tease. First, in this tease, it's only 2 minutes long. I'm going to show you two parts of it. First, he asks Emhoff about the debate and whether Trump should debate more on what. Just watch.
Why do you think Donald Trump won't debate her again?
Well, you saw the first debate, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Got his ass kicked. Mm-hmm. And so he's afraid that that's going to happen again.
He's spreading it about you, saying that tabloid stories about your personal life, saying it should be front and center. He's saying it about your wife and making incredibly crude and lewd suggestions about her past life. I'm just curious. I know I seem like a very zen, mindful person, but I think I'd be pissed off. And I'm just wondering, how do you all stay centered? How do you stay disciplined and not really go off and not really push back hard at these things?
We don't have time to be pissed off. We don't have time to focus on it. It's all a distraction. It's designed to try to get us off our game.
Does it get you off your game?
No. All we are doing, all we talk about is this election. We understand the stakes. We understand the responsibility.
What are the stakes? What are the stakes?
Our very country, our future. What kind of future are we going to have?
There's so much in there. That is an infuriating piece of tape. First, he sets himself up like, I got Kamala's back. Yeah, she kicked his ass. Yeah. Oh, you're so supportive of your wife. You're such a wife guy, as Jen Psaki said. And of course, that's exactly what Joe Scarborough wanted to hear. And then they go into, these tabloids, these evil tabloids who are reporting things about you. I mean, and I'm like, great. We might get something on the record from this candidate telling us whether he denies the report that he abused a former partner of his, that he openly smacked her in public so hard in 2012 that she was spun around and fled to get away from him, only to have him then force himself into her taxi cab. And she was scared enough she had to call a male friend back in New York to be on the phone with her in his presence because she did not know what he was capable of. The guy's got a hair trigger, reports the Daily Mail. So great. Let's get a denial. Let's get a comment. Let's do something and make some news. And instead, the landing Scarborough chooses is, I'd be pissed off. How do you stay centered and not go off when he doesn't give a shit? Joe Scarborough knows perfectly well this guy might be a woman abuser, and he doesn't care at all. Why is that? Why is that? Honestly, it's an honest question. Because he's a hack, sure, that could be it. Because he's got his own questionable past that he just rushes to the defense of any man accused. Is that what's happening there? I don't know what happened with him and the intern who died in his office. His story is, it was tragic. She was young. It has no reflection on him. It was a tragedy, and that's that. That's what the fact checkers say as well. But you tell me why Joe Scarborough, when given the first big opportunity, yes, there was the infuriating Tim Miller podcast that he did on the Bulwark, but who the hell expects anything out of Tim Miller? Joe Scarborough works for a major news organization. How dare you not ask him? You better have damn well asked him. When we air this interview, we see this on Monday, God, you better have effing asked him the question. And Mika Brzezinski, how about you? If he doesn't, will you call him out? Will you say American women are owed an answer about whether we're about to elevate an abuser of women into the Oval as the first gentleman? Are you going to go and smile gladly with this guy at the Easter egg hunt and pretend this isn't really a question about what he's like behind closed doors, potentially with our commander-in-chief? Because I'd really like to know. It's outrageous the way he asked that question. I'm just going by what MSNBC put out. I don't know what the full exchange is. I'm guessing that's it. I'm guessing if he were tougher on Doug Emhoff in the phrasing of that question, we would have seen it in the tease. It's not there. And he does not deserve the benefit of the doubt. What I've seen so far is disgusting. F you for not caring. And I have standing to raise this objection. I have questioned people on both sides, Republican and Democrat, about problematic histories with women and the abuse of women. I understand, and I have for a long time, that many on the Republican side don't even like these questions and that their knee-jerk action is to defend guys against these. I'm not like that. And I have a history that proves it. What about you, Joe Scarborough? It's your side that says believe all women. You and Kamala Harris have said that. So let's do that. Let's believe the Doug Emhoff accuser. And when you sit down with him, you ask him about it. You know who did at one point understand that principle? Your wife. Because she got a bite at Joe Biden after Tara Reade came forward against him. Guess who interviewed her? Me. Guess who interviewed the Trump accusers? Me. And you have access to the actual man being accused. Ask him about the damn allegation. At least in the cases I was dealing with, it was in the distant past. Joe Biden and Tara Reade were decades ago. Fine, it doesn't make it any better, but I'm just saying, this was 2012. This was the relationship right before Kamala. And you don't ask him about whether he abuses women? Shame on you. Where are the women at MSNBC? Where's their outrage? Get in there. Stand up. Say something. They're melting down at CBS because they did a tough interview with Ta-Nehisi Coates, who wrote a book about how terrible Israel is. That led to an all-hands-on-deck meltdown with the top executives weighing in. Where are the women of MSNBC saying, these are serious allegations? 3 independent witnesses say that they support her. He, so far, has only given a bland denial through a campaign spokesperson. Ask if you really care about women and how much you purport to. Okay. It's infuriating. It's just such an example of the media bias and what Trump's up against. You don't think they'd ask if Melania Trump had some alleged history of abusing people, physically abusing people? You don't think they'd ask her? They'd want to make that a story? This show encourages honest conversations, which is not always easy in today's media environment, with big tech companies deciding who and what gets amplified and censored. But there is a new platform that prioritizes free speech and transparency without controlling the narrative, and it's called Ground News. Ground News is an app and a website that aggregates related articles from around the world, highlighting each source's political bias and corporate influence. Ground News reveals for every single story how media narratives are shaping the conversation and who's covering the topic. It makes it easier to navigate the news and may even be helpful to you for the next time your liberal friends send you a headline from their favorite biased news source. They're offering our viewers 40% off their Vantage plan, which gives you unlimited access to their website and app. Ground News is independent and supported by subscribers, not corporate interests. So check them out at groundnews.com/Megyn. That's ground, GROUND news.com/MEGYN. Groundnews.com/Megyn. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.